The US-Canada border, stretching over 5,500 miles, is the world's longest undefended boundary. It stands as a powerful symbol of peace, trust, and enduring partnership between two nations. Unlike many borders marked by fences or walls, this line is defined by openness and mutual respect, reflecting a unique relationship that has grown over centuries. Every year, millions of people cross this border, weaving together a vibrant tapestry of shared life, culture, and opportunity. These crossings aren't just numbers. They represent real stories, friendships, and dreams that span both countries. For countless families, the border is not a distant line on a map, but a familiar path that connects loved ones, reunites friends, and brings together generations. Whether it's for holidays, special occasions, or simply everyday life, crossing the border is a routine that keeps relationships strong and dreams alive. This freedom to move nurtures a sense of shared community where the border is seen as a marker of friendship, rather than a barrier. In border towns, neighbors from both sides gather in parks, children play together, and cultures blend seamlessly, creating a unique cross-border identity. Beyond family ties, the open border fuels a thriving tourism industry. Iconic destinations like Niagara Falls, Vancouver, and New York draw visitors from both countries, supporting local businesses and creating countless jobs in hospitality, retail, and travel. Americans journey north to explore Canada's natural wonders, from majestic mountains to vibrant cities, while Canadians head south for shopping, entertainment, and adventure in the US. This constant flow of travelers enriches both nations, fostering understanding and appreciation for each other's cultures. The exchange of visitors and shoppers creates economic prosperity on both sides. Border towns thrive on this activity, with businesses relying on the steady stream of customers who cross for everything from groceries to unique souvenirs. For businesses, seamless travel is essential. Entrepreneurs, professionals, and workers cross the border daily, driving innovation and growth. North American commerce depends on this easy movement, allowing companies to collaborate, trade, and compete globally. From executives negotiating deals to truck drivers delivering goods, people on both sides keep the economies integrated. Any disruption or friction at the border can send shockwaves through industries, affecting jobs and livelihoods far beyond the crossing itself. Ultimately, free travel and trade across the US-Canada border are not just conveniences. They are the cornerstones of shared prosperity, friendship, and a future built together. In 2025, President Trump returns to the White House, promising to shake up the global order once again. His new administration wastes no time unveiling a bold and controversial economic agenda, one that immediately grabs headlines and sends shockwaves through international markets. At the heart of this plan is a sweeping trade policy that threatens to upend the long-standing relationship between the United States and Canada. The border, once a symbol of cooperation and friendship, now becomes a flashpoint for economic tension. Guided by the America First doctrine, the administration introduces heavy tariffs on a wide range of imports, with Canada and Mexico squarely in the crosshairs. These tariffs are not just numbers on paper, they represent a fundamental shift in how the US views its closest trading partners. Canadian steel and aluminum industries are hit especially hard, facing massive new tariffs that threaten jobs, disrupt supply chains, and send ripples through the broader economy. Factories that once thrived on cross-border trade now face an uncertain future. These aggressive actions challenge the spirit of North American cooperation that has defined the region for decades. Negotiations stall, meetings grow tense, and the sense of partnership that once existed is replaced by suspicion and frustration. Across Canada, businesses scramble to adapt to the new reality. Executives and workers alike worry about layoffs, lost contracts, and shrinking profits. For many Canadians, the move feels like a betrayal by a trusted ally. The Trump administration insists these measures are necessary to protect American jobs and industries. While some U.S. factories see a short-term boost, the broader impact is far more complex, with families on both sides of the border feeling the strain. As tariffs threaten to expand into other sectors, like agriculture, technology, and automotive, Canadian businesses brace for even more disruption. The uncertainty makes it difficult to plan for the future, and anxiety grows with each new announcement. The looming threat of a full-blown trade war casts a dark shadow over economic prospects. Stock markets react with volatility, and communities dependent on cross-border commerce worry about what tomorrow will bring. Behind the scenes, Trump's team uses these tariffs as leverage in high-stakes USMCA negotiations, hoping to extract more favorable terms from Canada and Mexico. The pressure is intense, and the outcome remains uncertain. For Canada and its business community, the economic damage is not just collateral, it's a deliberate tool in America's quest for leverage. As the standoff continues, the future of North American trade hangs in the balance, with millions waiting to see what comes next. Economic tensions are reshaping the way we travel, making border crossings not only more difficult but also significantly more expensive. What was once a routine drive across the border for shopping, visiting family, or a weekend getaway now feels like navigating a maze of new obstacles and hidden costs. The simple act of crossing into another country has become a source of stress and uncertainty for many Canadians. Tariffs and trade disputes have driven up prices on everyday goods, making those cross-border shopping trips less appealing. Canadians who once flocked to American malls for deals now find themselves weighing the cost of gas, higher prices, and the risk of being turned away at the border. The economic divide is felt in every purchase, from groceries to clothing, and it's changing spending habits on both sides. Financial pressures are making spontaneous travel a thing of the past. Families who used to visit relatives or take day trips across the border are now reconsidering, as the hassle and expense outweigh the benefits. The once vibrant cross-border lifestyle is slowly fading, replaced by caution and hesitation. Political rhetoric and shifting policies have created a climate of uncertainty at the border. Travelers face longer wait times, more intense questioning, and a sense of unpredictability that makes planning even short trips stressful. The border, once a symbol of connection, now feels like a barrier. The fear of sudden changes to travel rules or new restrictions is keeping tourists away. Hotels, restaurants, and attractions that once bustled with international visitors are now struggling to fill their rooms and tables. The tourism industry, a vital part of many communities, is feeling the impact of this new reality. Airlines and bus companies are also feeling the strain. With fewer people willing or able to travel, routes are being cut, and ticket prices are rising. This creates a cycle where travel becomes even less accessible, especially for those who rely on affordable transportation options. For students, families, and anyone on a budget, the new travel landscape is especially challenging. Navigating complex documentation, higher costs, and the constant threat of cancellations or delays adds layers of stress to what should be an exciting journey. Many are forced to postpone or cancel plans altogether. The entire transportation network is under pressure, with congestion, delays, and uncertainty becoming the new normal. Every trip now requires more planning, more patience, and often more money. For many, it feels as if an invisible wall is rising, isolating Canada from its neighbors. The costs and hassles are building up, making international travel feel out of reach for ordinary people. This shift threatens to weaken Canada's connection to the world, limiting opportunities for cultural exchange, business, and personal growth. The freedom to explore, learn, and connect is at risk. For Canadians, the growing sense of separation is more than an inconvenience, it's a profound concern. As barriers rise, the hope is that solutions can be found to restore the openness and connection that have long defined Canadian travel. Behind tariffs and trade deals are real human stories. Mrs. Chen in Windsor worries about visiting her mother in Detroit due to border delays. Young professionals like Sarah face career crises with increased border scrutiny. Amateur sports suffer as cross-border leagues become logistical nightmares. Rising costs and uncertainty strain long-distance relationships. Couples face financial worry and emotional exhaustion. These personal struggles highlight the impact of border policies on happiness. The friction at the border affects careers and community life. Political tensions sever cultural ties and test love. The human cost of new borders is profound and intimate. The trade landscape shocks Canadian businesses beyond steel and aluminum. A small Ontario manufacturer faces skyrocketing costs and potential contract losses. The tourism sector struggles with declining American visitors. A Banff lodge owner sees bookings drop due to political climate fears. Canadian tech startups find it harder to attract U.S. investment. The agricultural sector fears retaliatory tariffs and market collapse. Farmers face uncertainty, unable to plan for the future. Political games in Washington threaten family legacies and livelihoods. The economic chill from Washington freezes Canadian businesses. USMCA governs North American trade and travel, but its collapse looms. Without it, economic chaos would replace low-tariff trade and easy travel. Canada's exports to the US face crippling taxes, risking recession. Travel becomes difficult with stricter visa requirements and border controls. Business travel and tourism face new fees and restrictions. The end of USMCA marks a diplomatic failure and economic upheaval. Canada must seek new trading partners, a long and uncertain process. Families and businesses pay the price of political failure. The collapse would be a political earthquake, ending an era of friendship. A new uncertain future awaits without USMCA. Canada and Mexico unite against US pressure, forming a strategic alliance. Leaders pledge cooperation, resisting divisive tactics from Washington. They aim to deepen economic ties and increase bilateral trade. New trade routes bypassing the US are planned, reducing vulnerability. Mexico develops Gulf Coast ports for direct links to Canada. This alliance realigns North American relations, focusing on mutual strength. Canada and Mexico build a partnership out of necessity. The old way of relying on the US is broken. Together they seek stability and prosperity amid uncertainty. The US crisis forces Canada to diversify its economic relationships. Strengthening ties with Europe and Asia becomes a national priority. Trade negotiations with the EU and Mercosur accelerate. Canada seeks new markets for goods and services. Building new trade routes requires infrastructure investments. The tourism industry targets visitors from Europe and Asia. Marketing campaigns promote Canada as a travel destination. This pivot redefines Canada's global role, beyond being America's neighbor. The crisis is an opportunity for Canada to build new bridges. Future prosperity depends on reducing vulnerability to a single partner. At this critical juncture, it's about more than economics, it's about people. The open border symbolizes friendship and trust, allowing human joy. Family reunions and spontaneous trips enrich lives. Walls sacrifice shared humanity and happiness. Division leads to suspicion and missed opportunities. Cooperation and bridge building are essential for solving global challenges. The Canada-US partnership is a valuable asset to strengthen. This period should be a temporary detour in a long friendship. Leaders must choose diplomacy and cooperation over conflict. The open road promises a brighter, connected future.